Tell a friend. Download the app on Google Play, Instinct Radio, or go to instinctradio.net. And now, back to the hottest sounds around. Instinct Radio.
Yo.
Back on the era of Musah, the next level. I have my guest, Benjamin Graham. Should I call you BigMouthBen?
Yeah, BigMouthBen, man.
Tell me the story about BigMouthBen. Why they call you BigMouthBen? You been
Well,
representing?
Yeah, BigMouthBen. It's a name I came up with. I used to work on the back of a garbage truck. I was going through a problem with addiction, and I couldn't keep a regular job, so I worked at the day labor.
Okay.
And I worked on the back of a garbage truck for about a few years. Mm-hmm. And one day while I was riding on the back of the garbage truck, the guy was backing back into a cul-de-sac over in Horseshoe Bend. And there were 3 dump trucks at the end of that cul-de-sac, but he only saw 2, and he backed me into the 3rd one. And it crushed my pelvis.
Wow.
And that injury put me in a wheelchair.
Wow.
The only thing connecting the top part of my body, was the spinal cord.
Wow.
So what they did was they inserted a rod to connect my legs, and the physical therapy was just showing me how to get in the wheelchair. So I was confined to that wheelchair for about a year, man. But through determination, some hard work, I began to heal, and I got my strength back to walk. So what I did, being an entrepreneur, man, or hustler, I took that, when I started back walking, I took that same wheelchair and I put a cooler in that wheelchair and put chips on top. Started walking around selling snacks, around downtown Atlanta.
Okay.
So what happened, the name BigMouthBen, I said, well, I'm doing all this walking all day. Let me promote the businesses that are around me. So I started getting advertising. I put billboards on the side of the wheelchair, and I started advertising. So I came up with this motto, BigMouthBen, if you want to sell it, let me tell it. And I had that posted on the wheelchair, and I was walking around. I walked literally about 20 plus miles a day, just selling water, snacks, and advertising. So that's how the name BigMouthBen came.
Yeah, I figured it had to do with some kind of marketing. I mean, once you got that hustler blood in you, you're a walking marketing machine, right?
Yeah.
So just now you mentioned overcoming addiction, right? And a lot of people suffer with addiction, right? So to anybody out there listening, and you being somebody who overcame that challenge, like, what could you say to them to help them overcome the challenge that they're going through right now?
Yeah, it definitely, when I tell people about the road to recovery, it's a hard road. It's a difficult road, but it can be overcome with some determination. I have a sign in my store that says, dreams ahead, proceed with determination. And it's like the hazard signs you see on the little orange signs that you get to forewarn you what's coming. As it says, dreams ahead, proceed with determination. A lot of times, and like even on I struggled for 17 years with addiction.
Wow.
My addiction was crack. I got involved when crack first came out.
Yeah.
I got into, I made the mistake of trying to sell it.
Yeah.
A year later, I was on it.
Wow.
And that road, it took 17 years to actually overcome the addiction. But one main thing I would tell anybody going through addiction is, first, don't give up.
Yeah.
A lot of times I got to a point in my addiction where I just say, you know what, this is how I'm going to be. I'm just going to enjoy life where I'm at. I'm going to survive. And it comes a point in addiction where you just become a survivor.
Yeah.
You're sleeping outside, sleeping under the bridge. When I woke up, I had to get a wake up, which is a hit of crack, just to get your body in a normal state of, a normal position. But a lot of depression comes with addiction because you don't want to keep doing it. And you find yourself saying, I want a better life, but then your body starts craving the drugs.
I got you. So during the whole process, this is not good for you. You want to change, but because the addiction is like something's calling you in a different direction.
Right. Just like the movie, Pookie said, man, be calling me, man.
It's calling you?
It's literally like it's hard to describe that feeling, but you just feel very uncomfortable, very sluggish, very drained, very depressed. And you feel like all I got to do is just inhale a few seconds off that pipe, and I'll feel okay, or a needle, or a drink, whatever your addiction may be.
Whatever addiction is.
Yeah, you feel like if I just act on this one impulse, I'll be okay.
You know what? I think I suffered from a different kind of addiction, but it was kind of similar. And I tell people all the time, like, if you don't understand the mentality of a drug dealer, the drug dealer mentality is the exact same way. Yeah. Every flip is going to be his last flip. It's kind of like, I'm only going to do this until, like, this is the last one. I almost got caught last time, but I'm going to do it one more time, and this is going to be the last one. And then it's like 3 or 4 more years, or it's like 4 or 5 different arrests later. And what you notice is that you're addicted to the power, or you're addicted to the adrenaline, or you're addicted to the
lifestyle.
The lifestyle. It's addiction too.
Yeah.
Right? But you overcame it, and that's amazing by itself. But not only that, you overcame it and you chased your entrepreneur dreams.
Yeah.
Right. So I see that you did something with a publishing company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about the publishing company.
Well, back in, you know, I would, first of all, I tell everybody, I started out just like everybody. I was raised mostly normal. I had a few childhood traumas that played a part in my addiction later on in life. But I went off to school. I was going to go to the Air Force. I ended up going to college. I went to University of Georgia. Which is where I met my wife. You know, then she was my college sweetheart. But 24 years later, we would find each other on social media and rekindle that plan.
Your wife stuck with you, or your high school, your college girlfriend stuck with you all through all of this?
No, we lost touch.
Okay.
We lost touch. She stayed focused. She went on to get her degree at Georgia State in science, and I went through my battle. Okay. But 24 years later, we kind of found each other. So, you were asking me about the publishing company. I was at, I went to the University of Georgia. I always had a love for music. If you see this little piece here I got, I think most young people wouldn't even know what this is here. And this is the little 45 insert there.
Oh yeah, that's a.
They go on. A lot of people look at that and say, you know, now the old schoolers know. They're like, oh man, I know what that is. What you doing with that on? But
thinking about that, I'm gonna make me one, but I'm gonna put an 8-track on it.
Yeah. But see, my love for music started then, man. You know, when. So, you know, off in school, I had a chance to pursue that. I became the DJ of the college radio station, the Power of Soul show. I had the name Benji K back then. You know, I was into rapping. I put a record out. And like I was telling you during the break, I promoted that record. And we don't, you know, back then I didn't have the internet. We didn't have email blasts.
It was grind.
Yeah, it was grind. It was literally, I slept 2 hours a night. You know, I worked 5 part-time jobs while in school. Always a hard worker.
Yeah.
But, you know, and so, you know, I formed a publishing company, Profitable Publishing. You know, profitable meaning not just financial profit, spiritual, mental, anything profitable for you. You know, that's what my publishing company was to do, to set out to create positive music. Even back then, I was into positive hip-hop. You know, a lot of the songs had messages, and, you know, I was driven to, I always wanted to motivate people and uplift people. So I started Profitable Publishing and released my music during then. I had my first single out, which was Live the Dream, you know. Okay. And it was encouraging people to, you know, to go after their dreams. It got radio play in Athens. I blew up, and so that's where the publishing came in at.
Okay. Yeah. So where did you get? Was the publishing company responsible for Came From Nothing?
Well, I revived the publishing company after I went through my whole ordeal.
Okay.
You know, because it never left. It was always there. Once you register with, you know, your BMI or ASCAP, you're there. You know, you just go back, and whenever you want to go back and start publishing, you go back. So it was happened to still be there after all these years. But yeah, Profitable Publishing is responsible for the Came For Nothing project.
Tell me about Came For Nothing. Where did that come from?
Came For Nothing, it talks about my journey, you know, the whole thing with addiction. I tend to talk about, if you come into the store, and we'll talk about that in a minute, I've got these photos up on the wall. I've got my, I wish I had one of them flyers. I've got a before picture and an after picture.
Like on your website.
Right.
I got you. Yeah.
Right. I like to share with people where I was, sleeping under the bridge and strung out on drugs, to where I'm at now. Because it gives those that are going through the same thing hope, you know.
Exactly.
And so my music Came For Nothing, or any other songs that I create. There's an upcoming single coming out on Halloween, is I Don't Want No More, and that deals with the addiction and the relapses and the power of addiction, and how you just fed up and you don't want no more. So that's a pretty fun song that's coming out. We're gonna have zombies in the video and things of that sort. But Came for Nothing is just that. It's positive, uplifting music to move people in a good direction.
So, through your addiction, and then you said you had a time where you was homeless,
Yeah.
right? And you was homeless for multiple years. Is that your rock bottom when you said, you know what, that's it? I need to clean up. I got to get back. Life is worth way more than this.
Right. Yeah.
That was your rock bottom, huh?
Yeah. I call that. I call it a spiritual awakening. It always knew of the Spirit. I was raised in a holiness church.
Okay.
Played the drums. And things like that. But it was actually I tell people, I had that point. I was under the bridge for about 5 years. And I was hustling I was an entrepreneur. I was selling my snacks on the bike. The bike wasn't yellow.
It wasn't yellow.
No,
Okay.
yellow. It became yellow once I was delivered from the drugs or overcame addiction.
Okay.
And the yellow represented the sunshine, going back to my purpose to uplift people and to brighten people's lives. I said my whole purpose is to brighten people's lives. So I'm gonna be yellow like the sunshine, and we're gonna have a positive light. So what happened? The turning point was that sick and tired point. But how do you be sick and tired? I've been sick and tired so many times out of the 17 years. So what made this particular time different? And I tell people it was a conversation with the Creator. It was actually like we both were just sitting there kicking it, like just two people. And I said, God, there's got to be something better than this.
Yeah, something different, right?
Yeah, it's got to be something better than this. And it was just like he was sitting there. He said, it is. He said, I promise to love you wherever you want to be. You want to be under the bridge? I'll love you under the bridge. You want to go to prison? I'll love you in prison. But it's up to you where you want to be
What
loved.
you gonna do? You control your 24 hours, huh?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said, it's up to you. I gave you free will. And so then curiosity started to kick in. I said, I wonder what life will hold for me if I just let this go and start moving forward. Everybody used to tell me all through my years, man, you're too smart. What you doing out here, man? You're too smart for this. The family was disappointed, They knew I had high hopes. People that knew me, anybody that spent some time with me knew that it was something I didn't fit. It was like you're too smart for your own good, which is a lot of reason why I couldn't get out, because I was so in my mind, like I can kick this, I can beat this. And you sometimes you just gotta listen.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to people. Yeah.
So one thing that somebody told me today was, I shared my story with them a little bit, and she was like, well, isn't that like the American dream? Isn't that what every American aspires to be? Like, we go through whatever we go through, and we want to be the entrepreneur, or we want to be self-made, right? Because it's that American dream where you could be self-made, right? So hearing what you went through, and now listening to you, now you're doing some of the things that you want to do.
Right.
Not what you got to do, but what you want to do. So, and not only that, you're an entrepreneur, you're a motivational speaker, you're making music, right? And you're spending your time doing what you want to do. Like, tell me how you went from homelessness to entrepreneurship.
Well, always, even like I tell you, during the struggle, I talk about the wheelchair I created that I used to be in. And I actually designed the bike as an idea why I had the wheelchair. The entrepreneur person was always there. Like you said, it's always in your blood. I'll back up a little bit, and I'll talk about the first $2 I ever made.
Okay.
Was when I was 6.
Okay.
I went into a gas station and I saw somebody turn in some empty Coke bottles. Those little glass bottles you used to turn back in.
The hard ones.
And at 6, my eyes got that big. I was like, you gave me money for an empty bottle? And the cashier said, yeah. I said, I know what a lot of them at. And so I grabbed my red wagon. While everybody was out there playing, I was in backyards picking up empty bottles. And I made $2. Now, when I bought $2 worth of bubble gum, I sat in the woods and laughed because
penny candy back then, right?
Yeah, I sat in the woods. I had this big bag of bubble gum, but I just laughed because I did something that grown people do. I made money at 6, and it's been in my spirit ever since.
Okay.
So my demon was addiction.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me bound. That the hard work. The loving heart, always cared and looked out for people even during the course of the addiction. I was never a robber, never breaking in houses or cars. I would clean up, or I would sell my snacks to support my drug habit. Kept keeping that pure heart and that hard working thing. Once the addiction was removed, I was able to go into that American dream.
I got you.
And I add something to that American dream that kind of, I think, that solidifies a person. When people talk about the American dream, but I definitely want to add something that completes you with the American dream is what we're doing now.
Okay.
You know?
So tell me about it. Yeah.
You mentioned the American dream, and I kind of, something inside me kind of stirred, because a lot of people, even the streets, and that's kind of something I encourage the streets through my music. Like, I tell a lot of guys in the streets that, you know, even though you're doing this, it ain't this. It's you. You the one that's making this happen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think it's the product that they selling, or I said, no, it's you the hustler.
Yeah.
You can take the same thing and do it with water or whatever you want, but you're the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But once we get that American dream, there's still a certain amount of missing happiness.
It is.
And I think we have to still be connected to our purpose. And it's something you have to bring a purpose to the world. You know, you can have that American dream, but I think if you're not giving back some of yourself,
Yeah.
You're gonna feel a void. And I think that's what we do. Our store.
Yeah, I want to hear about the store. So tell me about the store.
Okay. Most people are familiar with the fact that I was on Auburn Avenue, struggling with addiction, running up and down Auburn Avenue. So the same street I slept on, struggling with addiction, 3 blocks from that bridge, my wife and I own a convenience store.
Okay.
It started from the wheelchair to the bike, went from the
Is
wheelchair
it
to
the
the bike.
one down the street from Amigos on that corner? Which one is on
No, it's over by the King Center, between
Okay.
those 2 funeral homes across
Okay.
from Wheat Street Baptist.
I got you.
Right. And so
I'm gonna make sure I visit there too.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
most definitely.
But now it's not just a store. See, it's now we do outreach, free bottled water for the homeless or anybody that can't afford water. They can come in that store and get free bottled water. We got
Okay.
free socks, free clothes, and we definitely do outreach. We have a nonprofit as well where we set up and help people move forward. But the thing is, like I tell people, whatever your struggle or whatever you struggle with in your life is probably what's meant to be your ministry or your
Exactly.
you
It's
know.
kind of like your hidden gift,
Right.
right? Because you got the flip side. You got the people that have no struggles, no worries, and they still end up on drugs because
Right.
they have no certainty. The trust fund babies,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Daddy did everything for them.
Right.
They grew up their whole life feeling like they was worthless. So your struggle made you stronger.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Your struggle is what drives you today.
Exactly.
Your struggle is what motivates you to help other people.
Yeah.
Same thing here. So that's why, like I said, I didn't know how I found you. I was just Googling around one day, and like my busy self got time to Google around. But when I found you and I found your website, I said I got to reach out to you. I got to have you on the show.
Thank you, man.
So listen, if anybody want to help or get involved with what you're doing or find your music, anything, can you give them your social media, your website?
Yeah.
How can it be a part of what you're doing?
Right. Also, I make it real easy. Everything is BigMouthBen. Twitter, Instagram. If you Google BigMouthBen, it's going to give you access to everything: music videos, footage of speeches, or anything of that sort, upcoming plans, things of that. So it's real easy. BigMouthBen.
Okay. And that's super easy. BigMouthBen.
Yes.
At everything.
Yes. And
All
the name of the outreach organization is Motivation Forward. Our goal and our purpose is to motivate people forward in life.
Okay. And they can find that on your website?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let us know about any upcoming events you got coming up. Anything?
Right now we just did the Auburn Music Fest. But mostly just a few gigs here and there.
Okay.
You know, we got the A3C coming up. We'll be doing something.
I got you.
Around
Yeah.
that and just working on the book. The book is in editing.
Okay.
So the book will be out soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll have you back on when the book come out.
Great, man.
All
Thank
right?
you.
Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, I
Big Mouth
appreciate
Ben.
it.
Musah Next Level. Next show coming up, I'm gonna have some teenagers in the house. We're gonna be talking about teenagers and what they facing and what kind of troubles and trials they facing nowadays. It's a little bit different than when me and Ben was growing up, but they still got some of the same issues. And we're just gonna discuss that. I probably have about 3 or 4 of them here, maybe male and female, and we're probably gonna have the discussion they don't want to have with their parents. All right, so. Thank you for joining us. Instinct Radio, Musah the Next Level. Benjamin Big Mouth Ben is in the building. Jack, producer extraordinaire. And we'll see you next time.
Tell a brother, tell a friend. Download the app on Google Play, Instinct Radio, or go to instinctradio.net. And now, back to the hottest sounds around. Instinct Radio.
Report on policing is Kathy Schneider. She is an American University professor and the author of Police Power and race riots. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank
It's
you.
so peculiar, the timing, that this would happen, then this report would be released. Talk to me about your thoughts about